Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday is the Grade 3 Cumley Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a peek at this field. They're going to travel 9 furlongs for $250,000. We have a field of 9. We've got 2 big names in here, 2 graded stakes winners. We'll begin with the morning line favorite, Mike. That's the number 5 Actress, who is still eligible for a non-winners of 2 life, despite being a graded stakes winner. She won her maiden in the Black-Eyed Susan at this distance. It was over a wet track. She had a blazing pace to attack that day. But while she hasn't won since, I think she's acquitted herself quite well against some really good horses.
You know, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I feel like when you start looking at her only win in the Black-Eyed Susan, where she just had all the best of it into a really fast sort of meltdown pace, and it was a wet track as well. I think you had to still wonder, even though she was a graded stakes winner, wonder how good she was. I think she's actually backed that race up pretty well. I actually felt like she ran really well in Delaware Oaks, a race that she could have won maybe with a different kind of a trip. And then her next 2 starts, I just don't want to be too hard on her. I don't think she ran that well in either the Alabama or the Cotillion, but I mean, really, was she ever going to win those races? I don't think she was ever going to win those races.
She was in against the best 3-year-old fillies in the country in both of those races. She gave even performances. Jason Service is going to put blinkers on in here, perhaps in the hope of getting this filly a little bit closer to the pace, because from what we've seen thus far, she likes to come from pretty far out of it. And we'll cue the Timeform US pace projector and see where our friends at Timeform have Actress, and they don't think the blinker is going to make too much of a difference. They've got Actress, the number 5, next to last, and that could be the key to the race. The 8 Miss Sky Warriors 5, the 2 second choice on the line. I would not be surprised if she goes off favored. She is a perfect 3 for 3 at Aqueduct. She won at this distance when she took advantage of a speed favoring track to destroy her competition in the Grade 2 Gazelle. After the Kentucky Oaks, a race in which when you look at the line, it doesn't seem that way. I thought she ran fine, considering she dueled with the favorite Paradise Woods over a wet track, put that horse away, and then was done. Came off the layoff, caught older horses in the turn back the alarm, and they made her work early.
Yeah, maybe that was the whole key to that race, right? I mean, she was a very short price off of that layoff against, we'll call them a modest group. Yeah, just a sort of a modest group of graded stakes older horses. But they did go after her. It wasn't one of the horses that beat her at the end. Big long shot in that race, sort of went after her early, and I think made her pick up the pace in there. If you look at the Timeform US past performances, and you should at least look at them when you're going through these races. They have that last race, the fastest pace that she's ever run in her life, and she had to do it first start back off of 11, first start with older horses. So maybe that's a really big excuse for her. And I'm not going to really argue against her. I think she is the horse to beat in here. Even with that pace and taking it into consideration, I didn't think that she ran that well last time. And I just wonder if she can take a big step forward here, because when you start looking at her on figures, I like most of her races. She's not that fast.
She, though, gets the second off the layoff.
And
she
she's probably loosened.
I like that Kelly Breen's given her 2 long, strong workouts leading up to this race. He knows what he's doing. And when you contrast the pace scenario from last time, from what we saw from Timeform US, she should be able to control things up front. That's Miss Sky Warrior, arguably the horse to beat over Actress, simply because she has a little bit more tactical speed. Shug McGahee's been on an absolute roll lately. Churchill Downs, Aqueduct. He's got the number 3 Parade, and this horse, it could simply be a situation of getting back to a 2-turn mile and an 1/8. She won at Saratoga, the one and only time she's raced around 2 turns on dirt. She came from off the pace. Last time out, she was in against an okay filly in Jameson and Ginger, although I thought she had a good trip down towards the inside. Maybe wanted to be a little bit more forward that day at Aqueduct, but I don't know, she kind of just ran around there late.
Yeah, she was never a factor in that race. Listen, Jameson and Ginger did feel like a horse who maybe took a pretty big step forward in that race, because I think she went into that race even as a short price with something to prove. And I think she really stepped her game up. And on the other hand, Parade, I don't know, to me she just sort of ran the same race that she's been running right along, and not there's anything wrong with that. I think she's fine, and she could still improve in here. And you start talking about these Phipps pedigrees, you think mile and 1/8 is no problem for her. She's already proven that. To me, she's just slow, and I don't really like any one of her races up to this point.
Talk about slow. The number 4 Bonita Bianca last time out, far and away, ran her career best Beyer speed figure, and it was only an 81 when she finished 3rd in the Empire Distaff. I know you liked her a little bit coming into this race, and the runner-up of that race came back to beat weaker 50,000 starter allowances with an 84 Beyer. Tell us about that Empire Distaff. Can she move forward in this spot at 1 1/8 miles?
I think that she can. I think she's, in some ways, I think she might be a better two-turn horse as well. I think that really helps her, but she's another one of those, she wants to sit back and make one run. That'll be fine for her in here, you would think, with Miss Sky Warrior, because there's supposed to be at least an honest pace in here. It will help her. I just think she has to improve again if she's going to beat this field. I liked her last time. I just thought that was a much better spot for her.
Let's talk about the 6, Analyze, going out from Michael Matz. I know you think this horse has a major chance in this race. A stakes winner last time out at Delaware, going 1.16 miles, and another horse that, while she hasn't exactly run fast races, she's very, very consistent.
Yeah, that's the real problem with her. And she's, the thing is, she's already run 11 times too, so it's starting to get harder to wait for her to break through with a fast race. I still think she's better than she looks on paper, though, and I like her running style a lot because she's a speed. She has speed. She'll get forward, but she doesn't need the lead. She's really well bred to go on in distance. And I just think, the figures say she's too slow. I think she's a little better than the figures say that she is, and she's going to get a really good trip in this race. I flirted with putting her on top in this race, and I ultimately didn't do it, but I'm definitely using her in this race.
Crimson Frost, the number 7, finished just behind Parade and Jameson and Ginger in that allowance race. It was her first start for Linda Rice, her first start in 2 months. I thought she ran well. She tried to confront Jameson and Ginger, and she just didn't have it that day. It took her a couple of starts, but she did get a victory last time out in a week off the turf event.
Yeah, that was an off the turf, a race that basically, once it came off the turf, she couldn't possibly lose, and she won very easily. But, the race that you were referencing before that, the Parade, Jameson, and Ginger race, I thought that she ran well that day. She bombed in her next start for whatever reason. She came back and she ran well again in the start after that. But she's another one. I mean, you start looking at her on paper, and she has the one, big win over horses she couldn't lose to. I mean, where is her race that makes her a contender in here? I don't see it.
The 2 is 2, and 2 was only beaten 2 lengths by It Tis Well in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks the first time she stretched out. Personally, I kind of like her at a little bit shorter distances, and now she's going to have to stretch all the way out to 1.1 miles. Last time out in the Safely Kept against an okay filly and Burn, she just couldn't keep step. I'm not going to hold the spinster against over a really wet track.
Yeah, I don't care about the spinster either. I was with you when they turned her back last time. I thought that was a little interesting. She didn't run that well in that race. It was just 13 days ago. They come right back in the Cumley. She's run, she's a little bit of an in and outer. She's run some good races though, and I have a hard time deciding if I like her going longer or shorter. I don't know. I don't know really where she fits. But it's not like there are no races on her card that don't give her a chance in here. She's got a couple.
Todd Pletcher has 2 in here. The number 1, Run and Go, is a stretch-out sprinter by Union Rags. I'm not sure if Run and Go has the stamina to stretch out successfully 3 furlongs against some of these big girls, but she could have a say in the outcome of this race because you have to think that she's going to show some speed from the inside post. And if Miss Sky Warrior is unwilling to rate early, it could maybe soften Miss Sky Warrior up for someone else late.
I think that's very true. I mean, I don't like her chances at all in this race, but there is a real chance that she could still impact the outcome, because if she comes out of there running from the rail and tries to make the front here or pushes Miss Sky Warrior along, it could really help set this thing up for some other horses.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Cumley. You're going to go with the Black-Eyed Susan winner, Actress, on top. I'm going to go with the other Pletcher runner, the number 9, Tapella, who's riding a mini 2-race win streak. Both of those races coming over 1-turn miles at Belmont. She couldn't have won any easier last time out. You rarely see Johnny Velasquez looking under his shoulder 2, 3, 4 times in the stretch. He rode this horse with supreme confidence to beat Crimson Frost. Her buyers slowly stepping up. And while I'm a little bit concerned about stretching out to 1.1 miles, I think it's noteworthy that Pletcher, in only start number 2, really wanted to get this horse around 2 turns at 1.1 miles. I think Pletcher feels that Tapella can get the distance. I think she's got a little bit of upside. The post is not ideal, but I guess she just follows Miss Sky Warrior out of there.
I don't see how she doesn't get a halfway decent trip in this. I agree with everything you said about her too. I think Pletcher wanted her to go long. She broke her maiden a lot easier than it looked. She only won by a head, but she was never losing that race. She aired last time. And it's not like her 9 furlong race at Saratoga where she was stretching out off of one sprint. It's not like she didn't run well in that race. I mean, she got tired at the end, but she was wide. The pace was pretty fast, and she was chasing it. I think you're right about her. This is the upside horse in the race.
You're picking Actress in here, but this is the kind of race where you don't want to stand alone. If you were betting this race, I don't think Actress is going to be a playable win price, but how are you planning on playing this?
I don't know. If I was, I'll be honest with you, if I was going to bet this race to win, and analyze with some kind of big price, I might just take a chance with her and make a win bet on her. I'm using Actress, and I'm using Miss Sky Warrior, and at least in some fashion in multi-race wagers, but I'm also using analyzing a little bit of your horse Tapella, because I think Tapella I think she's a very dangerous horse in here for Pletcher.
And I'll bet the 9 Tapella to win anywhere near her 6-1 morning line odds. I prefer Actress over Miss Sky Warrior. I'll go 9, 5, 8, and 3 in the Grade 3 Comely. If you are betting the Friday Aqueduct card from home, here's the deal. You know it. $300 sign-up bonus waiting for new DRF Bet subscribers. drf.com/fall, promo code FALL300. Approximate post time for race number 9, the Grade 3 Comely at Aqueduct on Friday, 3:50 Eastern. Good luck.